Yeah, you there. You're watching this video, are you not? Have you ever played through a Halo game? If not, why not? But for those of you who have, playing through them, specifically the original trilogy, have you ever stopped and wondered, where did this guy come from? What is that? Why do they do the things they do? Well, today, I'm here to tell you exactly those things. It began long ago, on the battlefields of the Great War. Oh, wait, shit, wrong game. It began with a species, a pretty damn important one if you ask me, and they are called the Precursors. They originated outside the Milky Way galaxy and arrived in our one billions of years ago. They were an incredibly advanced race of individuals who explored many galaxies and seeded them with life over the course of many billions of years as part of a grand experiment. As transcendent beings, they existed on a level beyond that of conventionally sapient biological organisms. Simply put into words, they existed on a plane kind of like the fourth dimension, something that a lower species such as us can't possibly comprehend. However, they did actually have a three-dimensional form, but weren't actually bound to it, meaning they could change it at their own will and even allow themselves to die and evolve anew over and over again, taking on countless incarnations, both physical and immaterial. Precursors based their existence around the philosophical concepts of the Mantle of Responsibility, which basically means whoever has this, think of it like a physical object. What have I got? I've got some scissors next to me. Think of it, oh, actually, keys. Whoever has this gets the keys to the galaxy. Living time, which was a philosophical concept, meaning time was an infinite series of twisting and entangling streams, or even put simpler than that, fate. And according to the premise of living time, struggle, competition, and even war were not at odds with the harmony of the cosmos, as they were regarded as a natural part of life. However, excessive and needless cruelty and destruction were seen as introducing an imbalance to the harmony of living time. Fuck me, that was a lot of words. And finally, a meta-technological mechanism known as neural physics, which also put simply is space magic. It was based on the concept that the entire universe was a living entity, but in a way that was beyond the comprehension of biological organisms. It allowed the Precursors to manipulate the fabric of the universe to make living, solid structures, or even to travel the stars. And since this is a flood video, I feel like I should mention that in the final years of the Forerunner Flood War, it was revealed that the Flood themselves were able to control the Precursors' neurophysic artifacts. But the entirety of the Forerunner Flood War is such a big topic, so I'll probably just leave that for another video. Now you may be asking yourselves, what has all this got to do with the origins of the Flood? Since all I've really talked about is the Precursors so far. However, the origins of the Flood has everything to do with the Precursors, so I thought I'd give you a little bit of a brief history on who they actually are. So with all of that out of the way, we finally start to come to how the Flood came to be. Over the years of the Precursors watching over the various species that they seeded into the galaxy, they would finally come to a decision on what race would hold the Mantle of Responsibility. Now, they originally chose the Forerunners that we know and love to hold this responsibility. That sounds pretty good, right? I mean, goddamn, you're essentially getting the keys to the bloody galaxy. Well done, Forerunners, let's go! Oh wait, they changed their mind. But which species? The elites? Nah. The grunts? Get that shit out of here. We're talking about humanity. Now, as you expect, the Forerunners were outraged by this and actually went to war with the Precursors. Now, you may think that the Precursors got this in the bag, right? I mean, they're basically a god race. Like, they are essentially gods. They created pretty much all life in the bloody Milky Way galaxy. Well, actually, I'll have you know that the Forerunners actually gave them a bit of a run for their money and amassed an entire genocidal campaign which brought them to near extinction. Only a small, tiny little number of Precursors managed to escape the Forerunners' campaign of total extermination. Some of the Precursors that escaped went into a sort of suspended animation, which is kind of like cryosleep, or some of them chose to ground themselves down into a molecular dust that would later be used to regenerate them into their past forms. At around 107,445 BCE, 10 million years after the Forerunners' genocide of the Precursors, humanity's interstellar empire came into contact with some of the Precursor powder. However, this powder over the years had become corrupted, failing to reconstitute the precursors and instead inducing madness and mutations in all life forms that came into contact with it. However, when humanity first came into contact with it, they obviously started running tests, as you do. I mean, this is some weird space powder we're talking about, you know, and came to the conclusion that the dust was not a harmful substance at all, and actually gave positive effects on lesser beings like animals. As you do, they started giving smaller doses to a species called the Faru, which were essentially ancient humanities and ancient Sanshayums, or as we know, the prophets, version of dogs. However, little to their knowledge, and to be honest, they kind of brought this on themselves, giving this totally random space dust to their pets. The dust started altering the genetic code of the Faru. After several centuries of the Faru's exposure to the precursor dust, they started growing fleshy protrusions, and other Faru actually started eating those growths, which to be honest is kind of a little fucked if you think about it. Ultimately, humanity decided it best to let the Faru go back into the wild, but little did they know, it was already too late. And can I just say, completely off record, that to be honest, that's a little harsh, you know. These guys were their pets, and they were responsible for their mutations, and they just go, nah, fuck off, back to the wild with you. Like, what? That makes no sense. They were their goddamn dogs, for fuck's sake. Shit makes me mad. But anyways, we move on. Remember when I said it was too late? Well, any humans or Sanshayum that came into contact or even been in their presence started showing the exact same symptoms. They were infected. This sick infection started spreading rapidly across their star systems, and as it spread, the flood started altering the victims into different forms that were fit for different roles, such as gathering biomass, combat, infection, and there's just so many other fucking forms to cover. I'd be here for ages. This exact moment became the first flood outbreak, and the Precursors vowed to use it to ensure that their creations will never rise up against them again. This Flood Collective did in fact have a sort of leader, a heavily mutated Precursor who was sealed away in a stasis chamber on the edge of the galaxy for millions of years, and they were known as the Primordial. But that I will leave for another video, and thus concludes the origins of the Flood and the first Flood outbreak. Now, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to leave a like and to subscribe as well with notifications on. You better do it. So make sure that you stay up to date with all the new Halo stuff that we're going to be doing. Halo Infinite is coming out in like less than a month now. It's crazy. Well, I think it's just over a month. It's actually crazy. We're going to be doing a lot of Halo lore stuff. We're going to be doing a lot of gameplay of things. You know, we're going to be doing so much. I've got a whole ass fucking whiteboard behind me full of ideas, so make sure you subscribe, make sure you got those notifications on to make sure you never miss another upload. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you actually learned something too, you know, because not many people dive into the extended lore. This video, I was on fucking Halopedia for God knows how many hours putting this shit together, making sure I fact checked and all that. But anyways, I'm not going to go on a rant about that. I'm going to leave you to your day. Thank you for taking some time out of yours to watch this video, and I will see you in the next one.